Oh gee, 8 hours. I didn't know there was 8 hours of audio. Right, I thought it was more like 5. Right, so I'm just going through this editing, trying to find and locate the vehicular harassment waveforms from yesterday, and then that was there was 5 separate instances while I was creating my new hijacked mind channel on YouTube. So there's 5 separate instances within about a 3 hour period. As I was designing the logo, typing in the description in the description box, so I took a bit of time doing that because I had to think about what I wanted to say. And then kind of like I kept altering it a little bit, tweaking it, and designing the logo took a lot of time in itself. So over about a 3 hour period, there was 5 separate instances of cars, vehicular harassment, very loud vehicular harassment that I could hear in the room. And I'd actually, to preempt that, I'd already placed my MP3 audio record in the bathroom just as I was creating the channel, and then started designing the logo because I knew stuff would happen, and it did 5 times. So I'm just going through the audio now of that, and what I'm going to do now is I've already ran up and down the stairs 2 times this morning in the last hour or so, last hour and a half. The first was about half an hour after I was attacked to the heart, which got me out of bed. Couldn't get back to sleep. Disrupted my sleep. I was having a really good sleep, about 7 hours I'd had to that point, and the attack was very blatant responsive to a dream that I believe was transmitted into my mind so they could then react, and this is something they do. It's nothing new. So they create the dream stimuli and then they respond to it, and it's basically just responsive to me creating this channel yesterday. So it's like hours after I've created the channel. I mean, come on, seriously. Everything had been okay up to that point. I'd been getting sleep and I'd been sleeping without any disruption of that type. And then suddenly I create the channel, and then that same night I'm targeted to the heart with the most potent attack. It was really potent. It felt like I was having it felt like a heart attack in a fraction of a second. But then there was the beep. So I'm just going to go through that anyway now. So 2:17 a.m. was lay in bed having a good night's sleep in brackets since just after 7 p.m. after mum left the house. So my mum was here for a few hours last night, and then she left about 7 o'clock. Until I was targeted with a very potent attack that stopped my heart for what felt. It actually did stop my heart for either a fraction of a second or half a second. My heart just stopped and then quickly restarted. So it was really potent attack. It was so blatantly responsive to the dream I was having, and I'm going to explain that now. Whole second, but it was more likely half a second max. It was a single pulse attack, and it was synchronous with a strange beep noise that came approximately 1 second later. The attack and the noise accompanying it were very real. I felt, and I heard, and I was awakened by both occurring together. Just before this happened, I was having a dream. I was having a dream where I had entered this store, and it was Christmas time. There were other people browsing around, particularly one girl who I knew from years back. I got talking to her, and we were joking around together around some display shelving among other people. So the display shelving was like kind of like it all went all the way around on all 4 sides. It was kind of like a small block of about 1.5 meters, 2 meters, and it was just shelving, long shelving, and then at the ends there was shorter shelving. But there were other people around that shelving and looking around, and I remember it's insignificant really, but there was someone sat in the way, and I was waiting. I just stood over them waiting for them to acknowledge, and they didn't. And so I said, I just gestured, kind of get by. So they made way for me. So yeah, I was joking around with this girl that I used to know from way back in my life, like we used to do. So upon entering this store, I walked by some large device, so as soon as I entered the store, before I got to that part, I noticed and acknowledged that there was some large device there, and I didn't know what it was, and I was kind of curious. So I'll return to that later. Upon entering the store, I walked by some large device, which I then returned to later to take a look. It was playing some music. The music was Bon Jovi's Shot Through the Heart. It was playing quite loudly, and 2 guys were at the other end of the device. I crouched down, like Princess Leia style, to press the yellow circular stop button. Just as I was about to stop the music, these 2 guys asked me to leave it. So leave it, they were saying. They wanted to carry on listening to the music. The music was Bon Jovi's Shot Through the Heart. That was what was playing in my mind. in the dream sequence. It was playing quite loudly, and two guys were at the other end of the device, so they were testing out whatever it was. They were listening and giving it a little sample. So I crouched down to press a yellow circular stop button. Just as I was about to stop the music, these two guys asked me to leave it. I said I will just be 5 minutes. I wanted to play a track of my own choice, and in brackets, targeted to the heart, with subtle but blatant attack after I typed choice. So after I typed choice there, I was targeted to the heart. Subtle but blatant responsive. And told them I would be just 2 minutes. I pressed the yellow button and instantly the targeted to my heart occurred. Really, in real time. It was the most potent attack I have experienced for many months, certainly going way back into the early part of 2023. So it might even be going back to roughly the same time as what it was last year, in 2023. I'd not experienced a potent attack as that, and that, strangely enough, was what after I created, just on the same, just responsive to me creating the Targeted World channel and also uploading the first video. That I remember that was a very potent attack that resembled a heart attack, exactly what I'm describing here, as I was uploading that video, that first video, to that particular channel. So I instantly woke up, and just a second later I heard the loud beep. It sounded a bit different from a normal car horn, and it was almost similar to the beeping noise made by one of those heart rate monitors or ECGs targeted to the heart now. They're doing this to make it look as though it's unbelievable. That's why they're doing it. That's why they're targeting me at these opportune moments. So I'm about to mention the heart rate monitor. I'm targeted to that. I'm not lying. I'm saying what's going on right now as I'm reading this out. And they're doing it. The reason why they're doing it, they're picking those moments, is so that it makes it seem less credible. And I'm just making this shit up, and I'm not making anything up. I was just targeted to the heart twice. There was two rapid pulse attacks to my heart. Not potent, but blatant responsive. That you see in hospitals. I'll read it out again. Similar to the beeping noise made by one of those heart rate monitors or ECGs that you see in hospitals. In fact, it was almost like a hybrid of that and a car beep, and it was loud and it was very synchronous with the targeted to my heart. You know, like it's not a coincidence that you would be targeted with the most potent attack the day after you create a new channel called A Hijacked Mind, where you're going to reveal all your diary, all stuff that's written in your diary as evidence, and also stuff that you've just been discovering in films. Oh, just a coincidence that you should be targeted with a very potent attack that feels like a heart attack in a second. That's that same night. Yeah, of course. This happens just hours after I created a new tune. Oh, did I just read that out? No, I didn't. This happens just out. So basically, I'm just going over what I just said there. This happens just hours after I had created a new YouTube channel, A Hijacked Mind, where in the description box I typed in brackets, but later deleted, if anything should happen to me, then it clearly indicates that these evil, satanic, murdering scumbags wanted to prevent me from getting my evidence out into the open. So the attack occurs after I write that in that description box earlier in the day. That is what I typed, but later removed. I'd also responded verbally, just goading them and just saying out loud, do it. You know, if I die, I die. That's what I said earlier in the day. Do it. If I die, I die. Don't pussyfoot around. Well, there's no point in pussyfooting around, is it? Because it's not having any effect. If you're going to do it, do it. If it makes your Sunday morning any better, if it makes you feel any better in yourself by killing me, go ahead and do it. That's what I said as I was creating the new channel, as I was designing the logo and I was being targeted. Not just the vehicle harassment, there was other stuff going on. I've got a log of it. I'm not going to show it now, but that's what I was saying. I was responding verbally to what was happening, to the targeting. And I was basically challenging them. So yeah, again, I've had a few of these where I just challenged them and said, and look what happens. Look what happens that same night when I'm sleeping. We're not dealing with anything that's natural here. This is a fucking weapon that's being used against me. It's a fucking weapon, and people need to realise that these bastards are murdering people. They're murdering people with this weapon. This is not a joke. It's not a joke. They killed my cousin. They took my cousin out just 1 week after I contacted him on Facebook. And they're trying to go after me now. And I need to talk to somebody. If there's anybody out there, Eric Hecker won't talk to me. If there's anybody who out there who I can share my evidence with. But that's what this is all about. That's what Eric Hecker doesn't understand, is that that's what this is all about. These people ruined my life. They caused the ruin of my life at a time in my life where I was at my lowest ebb, and that's when they seized the opportunity. And this is what people don't understand, like Eric Hecker. They hear stuff, they're told stuff by other people, and I'm not going to name people, but there are certain people who pass on information to Eric Hecker, etc., and then deter him from talking to me. When I'm trying to relate something that exposes these evil bastards. I'm not the bad person here. I'm not the bad person, and yet Eric Hecker treats me as I'm the bad person, as I'm the bad one, and I'm trying to expose the evil bastards in this world. I'm trying to do that, give him my 20%. Eric Hecker wouldn't allow me the 20%, which he so frequently urges people to get in touch with him to relate their 20%, and yet he wouldn't allow me my opportunity because I wouldn't get on camera. I wouldn't feel relaxed enough, in a relaxed enough state, and comfortable enough to pass on and relate information that's, it can be it's sensitive information. I can't just do that on the camera. You think one part of you's thinking consciously about the camera. You're on camera, so don't fuck up while you're doing this. And then the other part is you've got to relate sensitive information. You can't just do that when you've never done that before.
Alright, what I'm doing right now is I'm listening to the audio from yesterday where I set the MP3 audio record while I was creating my new channel, Hijack Mind. And I placed that in the bathroom, preempting, because nothing had happened up to that point, but I preempted that while I was creating the channel and designing the logo for the new channel, that something would happen outside externally. And I, within a 3-hour period of me designing the logo and typing in the description and just generally creating the channel and sorting the channel out, I was targeted. There was 5 instances of vehicular harassment captured on the audio. Very loud. I've already got 4 of those so far. So where those little dividing points are, that's the segments where there's audio. So I've removed the kind of in-between bits where there's nothing happening. So I've just merged them all together. So those are the four that I've found so far. I'm looking for the 5th because I know there was 5 separate instances. So I'm just searching for that 5th instance. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm being targeted, response targeted, as I just stare at the screen, like upwards, looking at the waveforms, concentrating, and target to the heart, response targeted. Just looking at the waveforms and trying to listen to the audio, just concentrating, and I'm being targeted to the heart as I do that. So I've been targeted several times. Still on me 5:43 AM. Who does that kind of thing at not even 6 o'clock in the morning? Go figure.